24 hours. I might add that in just this reporting period, all of the air forces in the coalition flew over 2,600 sorties. A US F-15 shot down an Iraqi MiG-23 over Iraq last night, as you just knew. As you know, if you were in Riyadh last night, a single SCUD was fired toward the capital at about 9 o'clock p.m. As with the other launches, it was detected, intercepted, and destroyed by Patriot missiles. The debris fell on a farm at the edge of the town. We have no reports of injuries or damages. At sea, 2 mines were detected in the northern Arabian Gulf, one near an area identified as offshore well number 42. It was destroyed by the Saudi Navy. The other one was near a Safaniya oil field. The Royal Saudi Navy is dealing with it as well. The US Navy found a mine near the Zolf oil field and will destroy it when conditions permit. A US Navy A-6 attack airplane took out 2 Silkworm missile launchers early last evening near Al-Fao. Shortly before midnight, an A-6 severely damaged an Awza-class Iraqi patrol boat near near Al-Shu'aiba port. I'll be pleased to respond now to your questions. Yes, sir.
This is about the third incident or so of the frog missiles. What is Iraq's strategy? Have you figured that out? What can they do with those frogs they can't do with artillery?
The frog has a longer range than the artillery, of course. It can go to about 70 kilometers. So this will give them the advantage. And also the effect of the warhead is larger than the effect of the artillery. And I think they're using this to disturb our troops and make sure they do not do their training and during their relaxation parts, but there isn't that much effect. Yes, sir.
Sir, I wonder if you could clear up a matter on the oil on the beach at Al-Hafji. We've heard from General Stevens that it was the result of Iraqi action. Is that oil from the tankers, released from the tankers from Sea Island, or is it from the artillery that hit oil storage facilities at Al-Hafji?
I was hoping you will not ask this question because the Navy commander is not here tonight. But all I know is the information that was given by the last press conference and also by the Ministry of Petroleum spokesman.
Sir, since the beginning of the war, we've had briefings from senior American military officers, Cheney, Powell, Schwarzkopf. And while we're delighted to have you here every night, I just wonder, where are the senior Saudi military officers, in particular Prince Khalid, and is he unable or unwilling to speak publicly about the conduct of the war?
Well, he is neither unable nor unwilling. He is my boss, and I promise you I will talk to him tomorrow and ask His Royal Highness General Khalid to come and talk to you. As you know, I cannot guarantee the answer, but I'll do that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Colonel, can you give us an idea why you think these planes are going from Iraq into Iran? Can you give us some more information on that?
I have no information in that. I've listened to this question repeated, and I also mentioned that as a response to the question last night, if our government talked to the Iranian government, this matter is the responsibility of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I have no information whatsoever regarding this question.
To follow up on that, you're also sharing the feeling that these planes are not a threat once they've landed in Iran?
again, we hope that the Iranians will keep their word that their official spokesman said that according to Geneva Convention, they will keep the airplanes and the pilots.
Sir, we understand that, that the coalition has something that we call air superiority. How can all these planes go from Iraq to Iran if there is not an agreement to not interfere with them? Is there an agreement, is there an order to not interfere with Iraqi planes that are going to Iran?
I am not aware of such an agreement, and remember that Iraq is a big country, and they have been flown from northern Iraq, and the coalition forces is concentrating in the theater of operations. That's the only answer I know.
You mentioned mines near oil fields, oil wells. Are these isolated incidents? Or are they part of an overall strategy, a real focused one right now to hit?
No, it's just a part of overall. It's every press conference here, we do declare any mine that we detect or destroy, regardless of the location of that mine.
These all happen to be near oil fields?
Just happen to be near oil fields, yes.
Colonel, do you have any information about Iraqi casualties from chemicals as a result of damage done by Allied bombing?
I heard this question in the last briefing. I have the same answer. I have no information.
Colonel, if you know what bases these aircraft are coming from to go into Iran, and you apparently know the numbers, could you also help us a little bit with what types of combat aircraft have already gone to Iran?
I really have no idea about the types. Do you know the types, Colonel? No. Yes, sir.
Another question about the planes. Whatever the types of the planes, if they are launched to attack Allied forces, what is the Saudi government's position with regard to its right or lack of right to attack those Iraqi planes on Iranian territory? And has the Saudi government notified Iran of its position on this?
This question goes far beyond my authority to speak about. I am here speaking on behalf of His Royal Highness, the Commander of Joint Forces, and all I know that Saudi Arabia is doing its part as a part of the coalition forces to free and liberate Kuwait as a result of the United Nations agreement.
Colonel, sir, if you cannot stop the Iraqi planes from going into Iran, how can you be confident that you will stop them when they come out of Iran?
When they come out of Iran, they do have to come over the theater of operations.
Don't they have to go over the theater of operations to go
when
into
they
Iran?
are over the theater of operations, then they are detectable, and the coalition forces has the right to deal with them. Yes, sir.
I may not understand. Let me just follow on this, sir. How can they go into Iran without going over the theater of operations if they must go over the theater of operations to leave Iran?
As I just mentioned, that Iraq is a big country, and they might have gone from the northern part of that country.
So are these Iraqi planes detectable by Royal Saudi Air Force AWACS aircraft?
I need to ask Colonel Joyd this question.
Can I elaborate on the airplanes? Just to give you our, as an Air Force, positions. Those airplanes, which flew over, and we heard a lot of talks about it. Let's just use a theoretical, assessment of those airplanes. Either they are, sitting in a bunkers once we start dealing with those airplanes in bunkers, and the pilot stays there waiting for a bomb to fall on the top of the shelter or flying away. So regardless what we said, air superiority is being achieved. Air supremacy he's starting giving us some air supremacy away, because those airplanes are turning away. Regardless what's the expectation would happen out of those airplanes will land in Iran. We have to take a precautionary, and we have to plan for the worst. And as I said from the beginning, we have an outstanding air defense that will take care of whatsoever will happen, crossing the, our limit in reaction into the air defense.
Excuse me, just to follow that up. Presumably, an Iraqi fighter in the air, whatever direction it's going in, would be a likely target. I mean, it would be a target that you would want to pursue. I don't understand why one would attack it coming from Iran to Iraq and not attack it going the other way, unless something has been arranged.
What I'm trying to explain, as I said from the beginning of my speech, is to say those airplanes, they were hidden in a bunkers. They have either two choices, either to engage and get killed, as we saw, and there is no comparison on the air-to-air superiority or engagements, or either they've been hit by the air-to-ground weapons. So the only chance they left with is to turn away. If they have a chance to come back again, then we have the opportunity to engage.
Are you saying, sir, that you didn't know where they were before, and that's why you couldn't immediately latch onto them, but you know where they are now, so when they come back, you'll be immediately in the air after them?
As an Air Force, our priority is changing based on the situation. So when we start selecting the next priority in according to our objective and to our own timetable, then we know those priority is changed and those airplane becomes more visible or more in the method of how we are going to deal with it.
Yes, Colonel, but you expect us to believe that Iraq can fly 90 sorties in any direction, including a considerable number of sorties by heavy, slow, civilian transports, without the Allied air forces having air superiority shooting any of them down? And we're supposed to believe there's no tacit agreement?
Those sortie or the number you came up with, is those an operational number that could affect, or just an airplane that loaded only with the fuel and turn away? You know, what is the effect of those airplanes regardless what is the number? So I don't want to go through the operation and tactical argument of what those airplanes loaded with and how did they go turn away. But I can assure you, the absence of the Air Force in the first 2-3 days of the war, and then they came up of, that's the theoretical I'm trying to use, not only to convince you, but to assure that I think the Air Force is doing what they're supposed to do, and we are prepared to counter there.
Ask you one question here, sir. What? All right, go ahead.
I've got one for the Colonel on a different subject. Colonel, yesterday we were told that an Iraqi defector, now a prisoner of war, had said that he may or may not have seen 4 foreigners who may or may not have been CBS News crew that disappeared. Today we're told the defector may not even exist. Can you tell me, do you know if this man exists? And can you also tell me why the Saudi authorities continue to deny CBS News access to the region from where those men were working when they disappeared?
If you were told by somebody, it's not my responsibility if he was telling you the truth or not. But for us, I can assure you, as I answered the questions last night, that if we get any information regarding this matter, we would never hesitate to provide you with, because this matter is dealing with human lives and friends who we would love to see them back here with us. Last question, please.
During the last few days, the number of air sorties has remained relatively high. Can you comment if the amount of anti-aircraft artillery response from the Iraqis has remained steady, or has it diminished, or is there a trend? In other words, are they running out of ammunition for their AAA?
I hope they are.
Trend, sir?
The increase of sorties could also be a part of the plan. So I cannot talk about this subject if it's a part of plan or as a result of less ground resistant.
Well, my question, sir, is the amount, the volume of anti-aircraft artillery in response to those sorties. Is there a trend in terms of the volume increasing or decreasing or remaining steady?
I really have no information in this subject. If I have it, I wouldn't hesitate to share it with you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Following the Saudi Arabian military briefing, Group Captain Niall Irving gave an update on British forces in the Persian Gulf. This British news conference took place at 11 a.m. Eastern Time Tuesday, which is in the evening in Saudi Arabia.